What's up, everybody? This is the Amish. Um, had a little update and everything. I want to say something really important on communism and community. Call for Uprising came out with a video where he was talking about this. He's not saying the same exact thing I'm saying here. Because I'm gonna give you a couple examples based in like logic as well as debate and things like that, because this is really important. And also, I want to bring up something that's really sensitive, where people have this so-called freedom thing and so-called, because I don't want to sound hypocritical, but sometimes when you don't have all the information, it can sound hypocritical, but it actually isn't. So, community. Community is communism, communion, all this type of stuff derives from the same etymology of communism, meaning you don't own anything, okay? So let me give you a couple examples real quick because I want to break this down. Check this out.
When we talk about our children, I know for this group, we all believe that when we talk about the children of the community, they are the children of the community.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We have never invested as much in public education as we should have because we've always had kind of a private notion of children. Your kid is yours and totally your responsibility. We haven't had a very collective notion of these are our children. So part of it is we have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities. Once it's everybody's responsibility and not just the households, then we start making better investments.
So basically, like she said there, taking ownership over someone else's children. Ownership comes with all of us being born here on earth. Ownership comes with that. We automatically have a birthright, but I guess people forget about that. People forget about how large Texas is alone to be able to fit the world's population in it. People are forgetting about the true amount of space that we really have here on Earth because everybody's stuck in this little fake overpopulation crap, right? And they're not understanding that we're a small part of the known Earth. We're a very small part. Your children are your children, and they don't belong to anyone else, definitely not the state under any circumstances or the government. And a lot of people can't seem to get that through their head because even in her mind, the woman that I just played, in her mind, she may feel that she's doing the right thing. Even in her mind, even if she's not an agent of destruction, right? Willful idiots are doing the bidding of a lot of people without knowing it. They don't have to hire people to do things. If they can brainwash you into being that opposition, then that basically means that you work for them unknowingly. So when I call people shills, they may not even be on the government payroll, like Jaren, etc. However, they are chaos agents that are causing a lot of issues within this community. Okay, so I'm going to come back to him, and I'm going to come back to the final experiment thing. But my whole point of this is that too many people are engaged in something in debate. It's called circular reasoning, circular logic. It's called hypocrisy. Okay, so let me say something about that right now. You're gonna like this. If the children belong to the community, how can one parent decide to abort their child? Think about that for a second. Uh-oh. Did I just debunk them in one sentence? I did. Now all of a sudden, no, you got the right to do that to your kid because it's your kid, but it's also the community's kid. It can't be the community's kid and your kid at the same time. It has to belong to one. That's another law of identity violation. You see, that's why I love debate so much, is because we can make sense of what they're trying to say. And we're pointing out that what they're saying is hypocritical and makes no sense. These are the same people fighting for the right of the mother of the child to take the child out of here. However, it's not their child. It's the community's child, but they have the right to speak on ending the child's life, not the community. Think about that. I've debunked them. I have shut the whole side down in one sentence. Did you all see it? I shut the whole side down in one sentence. See what I'm saying? When you have a firm grasp, okay, on reality and debate, you cannot be stopped under any circumstances. Another example, back when they were shutting everybody down and locking everybody up and wanted everybody to get their magic potion, the idea was you need to get yours because I'm still not protected against you because I got mine and you have to get yours in order for it to work. Hypocritical. You get your personal protective equipment to keep you safe, not other people. It's personal, meaning yours on your person, not theirs on their. It's not collective. None of it is. And also, my whole point of bringing this up and talking today is because in some instances, people can think that I'm sounding hypocritical sometimes when I say people should have the freedom. I am not saying that people should be free to do anything that they want because they're being misled by people and they're coming up with theories in their own head based on, well, it doesn't matter if I decide to take up a religion that does harmful things to children. No, that's a problem. Do no harm, period. You do not have the right or freedom to be able to do that, quite frankly. That's why I tell people like Jaron and all these other people out here that I talk about all the time is that they can't do the things that they're doing. I'm not just going to turn off my channel because I don't like that guy. That guy is influencing the guys around me. What happened during the whole lockdown situation? People were choking people out in stores. They were fighting. They were kicking people out. They were discriminating against people and got people killed because they couldn't get their transplants. They couldn't get into the hospital to do what they needed to do because they discriminated against them if they didn't have this or that. That is a real thing. What you do will affect me. What Jaron does will affect me. What the collective mind learns and knows or believes in most cases, because they operate on belief, not real empirical science matters, affects me. It affects my job. It affects my life. You decide to poison yourself. And then the first thing I seen all these people do, and you can go back through my videos if YouTube hasn't taken it down. And I said, you're going to poison the blood supply. So this was real appropriate for today because today's my mom's birthday. So I'm really upset today about what transpired with her and the amount of transfusions that she decided to go get, probably with tainted blood of older people that are 60, 70 years old. And I wasn't able to give her mine. But the whole point that I'm saying behind this is that everything that people do around us will affect us all the time. And we cannot allow people to just do what they want to do. Because if what they are doing is completely harmful to everyone around them, you cannot do it. You do not have a freedom of religion if your religion is harmful. You do not, under any circumstances. You cannot hurt other people. Other countries do not have their own freedom to just do what they want to do, whether it's bombing other cities and bombing other places, whether it's carrying out atrocities. You don't have that. You do it anyway because you're a criminal, but you really don't have it. And I'm going to do a live stream as well on rights versus privileges, because a lot of people use that argument, which is another hypocritical argument, because we're not even talking about the rights that people have. It's just privileges. They're confusing the two. They would say, when your rights start stepping on my rights, how's that? We both have the same rights. So how can my rights step on yours if we both got the same rights? Hypocritical. But when you learn debate, you can point this stuff out to everyone around you, just like I do out on the streets for activism. I don't televise it. I don't record a lot of it. And I very rarely upload any of it. But the point is is that is the reason why nobody can out debate me, because if they're not using logic, they can't win. And if they use logic, they're not going to debate with me, because there is no debate, because they're thinking logically. See, you see what I'm saying? The debate is on one side, not thinking logically. Real debate is based on, I think we should plant more trees. There's pros or cons to that. Let's see if the overall pro has better yield than the cons. Okay? It is pros and cons evaluation. And at the end of the debate, whoever has the most positive impact over negative has the win, in which then we can decide to go forward with it. Okay? So that's how debate goes. You can't debate, is this car blue? Is the sky blue? You can't debate that. That is what we naturally observe. You can't debate Earth. It's measured flat. These are things that people have in their head that they actually believe is a topic that truly you can come to your own opinion on. You cannot. Why, again, can't you come to your own opinion? Because if it is harmful to the rest of us, you are not allowed or permitted to do it. And that is harmful to the rest of it, especially if they say an asteroid's coming to hit Earth, especially if they say this and that and that and this, and it's going to cause problems, and everybody's scared, hiding, and then the people who speak out against it are getting discriminated against, just like what happened 2 years ago. You're not allowed to do it. Whether you think you have that freedom or not, you're not allowed to do it. The only freedoms you have is over your own self. You do not have any other freedoms over top of judging or influencing, rather, other people. Richie from Boston just put out a video. Okay. Shout out to Richie. He's awesome. And he's on Jailbreak Overlander. And what's happening is he did a video based on the influencers and why the influencers need to be stopped. And I agree. You cannot be allowed to speak to children for hours and hours and hours a day if you are a porn star, OnlyFans, whatever, whore, prostitute, drug addict, and you are influencing that lifestyle upon children who don't even listen to their parents that much throughout the week. They might only spend a couple hours a week talking to their parents. When you really add it up in passing, they're spending 8 hours in school or more. They're spending 8 hours sleeping or more. So, and they're playing, they're talking to their friends, they're watching TV, they're eating. So they're only spending a few hours talking to their parents, as opposed to screen time for 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, listening to streamers. And then you're wondering where they pick up their habits. You are not free to do that. And Richie from Boston also pointed out that most of these people are pedophiles. And a lot of them have shown pornographic images online, on accident sometimes, and sometimes on purpose. And a lot of them have been caught talking to underage people that they knew were underage at the time. It's completely different if you're not aware of someone's age because they're packing on makeup and acting like they're so sophisticated. There's tons of people driving in cars that are 14, 15, 16 years old, and you would not know. They don't have licenses. My friend just got in an accident randomly with somebody who just didn't have a license, and they ran right into him at a red light. Just stupid stuff, dumb stuff. People drive drunk all the time. They make poor decisions. You have to physically ask somebody, is how old are you? But these people know the majority of their fan base, if they're live streaming Minecraft or Fortnite, is going to be 8-year-olds to 13-year-olds. So allowing them to have complete control over your kids, and then they switch up like Richie showed, and they start talking. Saying, oh no, blah, blah, blah. I think that it's okay for pedos to do what they want to do as long as it's not. No. You're trying to make a point, but the point is that you are hypocrite. You are contradicting yourself. It's called a contradiction in terms. When you say something when you compare apples to cars, that is a false equivalence fallacy. You cannot compare solids to gases. It doesn't work. It has to be gas to gas, solids to solids. You have to be dealing with the same thing. You cannot switch it up and say other weird crap. And a lot of people fail to understand that. The last thing I'm going to talk about is this final experiment crap. So we're still going to actually go and look around and chase the sun in order to show what shape the earth is. I thought we already had this covered. I find it really insane that people have decided to go along with a lot of the nonsense that some of these flat earth shills are putting out there. We already established that you can't go to Antarctica. I find it so jaw-dropping that not enough people have stopped listening to these idiots. I don't really care how educated Witsit is. I don't care how educated Jaron is. None of that matters to me. All that matters is who they're associated with and whether or not they're having an overall negative impact on people's lives, because they are. And none of this is ever getting brought up properly into the news, into where it needs to be. And when people get close, like Alex Stein interviewing Tucker Carlson, it never ever comes up, because it can't come up, because they are gatekeeping it, stopping it from coming up. So it's time for people to reclaim their own life and their own ideas and stop being a sheep, stop being stupid. Learn reality. Okay? Learn reality. This whole video, by the way, is about church rebranding its name from church. They don't want to call it church because it's antiquated and it's outdated. It's this, it's that. We need to call it something else. We're going to call it community. Okay? 501c3, I believe, is the churches that are owned by the states. And I have sat in many churches now, and I'm waiting still for them to speak on Revelation, but they won't, because Revelation is too controversial for them. It's also out of order. So they're not going to understand it anyway. Most pastors, if any. So this is my whole point behind all of this, is that learn logic, learn debate, catch these hypocrites when they speak. Everything they do is hypocritical and lies. That's all it is. As long as they cut down trees that absorb carbon, more carbon will get in the air. Ask them what amount of carbon is actually in the air on Earth. 0.04. Doesn't sound like we have a carbon problem. If anything, it's a carbon shortage. But none of these people know that, because they're advocates, they're lobbyists, and they're people who just hop on, they're bandwagoners. They don't know anything. They're all easily debunkable with logic, because these people don't operate in logic. So if you just learn the laws of logic, you can easily debunk and destroy any of these people the way that I do. It's very simple. Anyway, I felt the need to get on here and talk about that, because that's the new thing. That's the new thing. Next week, it'll be something else. The week after that, it'll be something else. And it won't stop, will it? It'll be constantly diarrhea of the mouth, in contradiction in terms, hypocrisy, double speak, circular reasoning. We've heard it all before, haven't we? How many times have we heard it? You wonder to yourself, when's it going to end, right? Anyway, that was really important. I really need to say that, and I hope that message got across to every single person that checks out this video. I am still going to try and live stream ASAP. So, appreciate everybody for watching. It's Amish Space. I'm out.